Box locks or key locks are sometimes quite tricky to install. And in this video, I'll show some of the procedures I do to help installing the box lock. Here's a small chest with a small key lock, brass key lock, and you can see the intricate cuts required in the chest front to accommodate that lock. So I typically model up the actual key lock that I'm going to install, and so I would take a picture of it and then create an actual model from the picture as shown here. Now let's move to the chest without the lock installed, and I'll hide the chest top so that we can get access inside here, and bring a copy of the key lock over to the assembly. Now to move it into position, it's going to take several moves here. I'll pick the midpoint of the key lock and tie that in with the midpoint of the chest like that, and then on the blue axis raise it up about here, getting closer to the position, and then come around on the green axis and pull it in on the green axis. I'm using the arrow keys to hold the movement in these red, green, blue axes in this case. And then now to push the key lock, embed it in so that it is flush, and then come down again on the blue axis with a down arrow key holding it in that position until it is embedded in and flush. So it's in position. I can use the lock now to create the cuts, the intricate cuts in the front panel here. So I can draw around the border of the key lock, and I'll turn on X-ray and then use the push-pull tool to push out that 1/16 inch recess for the thin part of the key lock so that it is flush. So now I've got one of the cuts done, but inside the key lock is this other rectangular section, and I'll draw around the border of that and use the push-pull again to push back the recess for the inner part of the key lock. A couple more things to do here with the circle tool. Here's the key position of where the key actually enters the key lock. Measure that carefully because it's critical. It is a critical position in the chest front. And I'll push that hole out through the front, and then there's the other rectangular section so that the key can enter, and I'll push that, double click that, and push that out towards the front. I also like to show where the screw holes are located. And I need to find the center. I've got a little guide point there on the key. Pick that and draw a little circle on the face. These are 1/8 inch diameter, and that should be all the cuts that are required. I'll close the component. Well, turn off X-ray and move the component. I need to close the component before I try to move the lock. Now I can shift the lock back on the green axis to expose the recesses. Then I can mark out very carefully using these dimensions on the actual lumber and cut that precise recess.